The playoffs are here, and you can predict the action all the way to the finals with FanDuel Predicts. Predict the spread, the total points, and even the game-winning moments that make the playoffs. Sign up and get a $25 bonus with FanDuel Predicts.
Offered by FanDuel Prediction Markets, LLC, a registered futures commission merchant. 18-plus bonus is non-withdrawable and expires 7 days after receipt. Trading derivatives involves significant risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Manage your activity with their consumer protection tools. Restrictions apply. See terms at FanDuel.com/predicts/bonus-offer-terms.
Listen, all you New Yorkers. Excuse me, taxi. Okay, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
And we are back here on Katz and Cosby, and let's go to our great colleague here, Jake Novak. Jake hosts on Saturday and Sunday at 5 a.m. here on 77 WABC, and you were on in the thick of it when all this stuff broke. Jake, we're all curious. Do you have anything? You always have some good intel stuff. Any details on the background of this guy, 31-year-old Cole Allen?
Well, as of now, we don't know the nationality. And by the way, that's becoming a story now, that they are suppressing that. But we do know that he is a Christian, or at least he talks about his Christian background. And no one is disputing that. Attorney General, Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche was asked about that, and he didn't want to comment about it. But,
let me ask a silly question, Jake. You know about the intelligence community. He worked for NASA for how long?
Again, probably less than 2 years. That's what I'm being told.
Any possibility he was a member of any of the intelligence communities?
It's possible he had clearance. I don't know if he was ever a military, ever actually a member. But, and that could be a reason why they're trying to keep some of this background. I mean, this reminds me of the Las Vegas shooting. Remember the shooter there? Yeah. So much of his background remains suppressed. The biggest mass shooting in American history, we still don't have any answers on the motive. How many years later? 9 years later now? To me, this is a story in and of itself. I'm willing to be respectful of certain security concerns about releasing every bit of information, but in these cases, it makes things worse.
It makes things worse. Let me say something. I talked to General Holt before, and he's concerned that if any of these people went after him, that the next set of people that are going to go after him are going to be more professional and just going to want to do the job.
Yeah, that's extremely. That's a very good point about how, and Greg Kelly was making this point earlier today on WABC. That, some of the assassins in the past were kind of losers and ne'er-do-wells, and thankfully so, because that sometimes played a role in their failures. This guy was a highly intelligent person. Caltech is an extremely difficult university to get into. And he got the
internship, the NASA internship. Yeah, that's like one of the most coveted in the country, I mean. Yeah.
I mean, thankfully he wasn't an expert in assassinations. It seems as if he wasn't. But he was smart enough to know that this was not such great security. That seems to be quite evident. But it's also, there's a lot of other aspects here to this story that clearly we're not being heard. And if you think we're going to find them out, again, I must again refer you to the Las Vegas shooting. We haven't found out about that. And that was 9 years ago.
That's amazing. And by the way, it's similar to that. They both checked into the hotel. In that case, they checked into the Mandalay Bay. He opened fire on the crowd below. In this case, the guy checked in, we just found out, for 3 days, and checked in the day before. So it goes to premeditation and planning and the vulnerabilities, if you will, Jake.
Yeah, and we need to see more of his itinerary. He's a Los Angeles-based leftist. We know that.
Yep.
And we know that the Los Angeles-based leftists, including the mayor of Los Angeles, were frequent visitors to Cuba. I want to know if he visited Cuba. I want to know if he's had any kind of, I would say, training, even if it's just ideological training. I mean, we can just blow this off and say he sounds like a typical evening on MS Now, and he does. He absolutely does. But beyond that, did he get any extra kinds of training? And that is another aspect. And it could just be ideological.
What about this Wide Awake group, Jake? This Wide Awake group, I find that interesting. It belonged to that it's called Wide Awake, and he went to the No Kings rally.
Yeah,
and donated to Act Blue, $25 with a designation to Kamala.
Yeah. There's a lot of work to do.
There's a lot of work to do, and that, by the way, the amount of that donation and the time, it sounds very much like that donation was made to establish him actually as a mainstream Democrat. Look, he's just making a donation to the presidential. He's not making a donation to some kind of wild leftist organization. It's just the Democrat nominee. Well, whoever was placed in the nominee. That's also suspicious, Rita. As much as we might be jumping up and down and saying, oh, this proves he's a Democrat. That actually might be a little bit of a cover as well. Oh, he's just a mainstream Democrat who donated $25 like so many Americans do. That seemed to me also very unusual that he would do something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, look into it, Jake. You always have some good stuff, my friend. Keep us posted, please.
My pleasure. One quick thing. I just remember this was similar to we started with this manifesto nonsense with the South Korean student who shot up Virginia Tech, and NBC decided to publish his manifesto. That was the beginning of this terrible road.
Yeah, it's been a real terrible road, and a lot of people, I think. I think there's a lot of mistakes here and a lot of incitement by other people. That's where I'm curious too. And what else? Who knew what and when? I still think there's something else there. Jake, thank you very much.
You're welcome.